Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. We're playing EarthBound here, but this video is going to be a little bit different. See, this isn't really going to be about EarthBound. I chose to play this game because I couldn't really think of anything else to do for this situation. See, here's the thing. I need to do some grinding in this, probably, to get my level up while I go through the thing. We're gonna talk about something else. Any of you who take a look at my favorites list or anything like that, you'll notice that I'm actually a pretty big fan of professional wrestling. And tonight, this is April 7th. It's about 11:30 at this point. Tonight was WrestleMania 29. And it sucked. It sucked out loud. This pay-per-view had 7 or 8 matches on the card, and those were the ones that were announced. There was another one that had been announced, but apparently it got scrapped, and is probably for the better because the match would have sucked anyways. This pay-per-view could have been frickin' fantastic, but they failed at almost everything. So I'll go ahead and run down the card. Honestly, it might seem kind of weird me doing this while playing EarthBound in the back, but like I said, I couldn't really think of anything better. I didn't want to just record a video with me just talking with a black background, because that would be really bad, so I figured something in the background would be nice, or preferable versus just nothingness. I don't have a program that records just audio, so we're gonna go with this. But anyways, might as well do something. Get your dumb ass out of the way, dude. Get out of the fucking way. Anyways, let's go through the matches. The show opens with... oh, what the hell was it? Crap, I can't even remember. Yeah, by the way, the pay-per-view was 4 damn hours long, and it didn't even fill the entire 4 hours. And a lot of the show was filler, too, with a lot of pointless video packages that they've already shown us. It was so bad. I'm still trying to remember the first card, or the first match. Wasn't the tag title match, that was second. For the life of me, I can't even remember what the first match was. I had initially thought it was going to be the world title match, because they do that to the world title all the time. Our second most valuable title, and we put it as the curtain jerking match. Really stupid. But no, surprisingly, that match actually came a bit later on in the show. I still cannot remember which match happened first. I really don't remember. Bottom line, must not have been all that memorable, otherwise I would have remembered it. Anyways, the second match was the tag team title match. Team Hell No, Daniel Bryan and Kane defending against Dolph Ziggler and Big E Langston in his debut match for the WWE. And of course, the match was okay, but good God. But anyways, the punchline is Ziggler gets chokeslammed and then gets the big diving Chris Benoit headbutt from Daniel Bryan, and Bryan pins Ziggler. Really lame. The next match was Fandango in his debut match versus Chris Jericho, and after a fairly decent match, Fandango had to get a very cheap roll-up victory on Jericho after Jericho tweaked his knee. Jericho went for the lion salt, and Johnny got his knees up. Johnny Curtis, by the way, is the same guy as Fandango. But Johnny got his knees up because he was way too close to the ropes. It looked really bad. Jericho caught him somehow, but he tweaked his knee on the landing. And then he tried to go for the walls of Jericho, and because his knee was bummed, he couldn't do it. So Johnny cinched him up for a roll-up, or a small package, basically, and got a cheap win on him. So Johnny wins his debut match with a frickin' terrible roll-up finish. But the match itself was actually fairly good. It was probably the only decent match on the card. And actually, now that I think about it, I do remember the first match on the card. And I should have remembered this sooner, because it was the match I was most looking forward to. And that was The Shield, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns versus Sheamus, Randy Orton, and The Big Show. And for those of you who don't know, The Shield is undefeated in matches up to this point. They have not lost yet. And that trend continues because they did not lose. Let's see. The finish of the match came when Sheamus was coming in to tag Big Show. Randy tagged him instead and jumped in and thought he was going to clean house. And instead, after hitting a RKO on Rollins, out of nowhere comes Reigns, who runs Randy through with a spear that rivals Goldberg's spears. I mean, he runs through people with this spear. He put Edge's crappy spear to shame, and Edge's spear sucked anyways, but we'll get into that some other time. He runs through Randy with a spear, and Ambrose, who was the actual legal man, gets the pin on Randy, while Show stands in the corner and doesn't do shit to stop it, because he was pissed that Randy got the blind tag when Sheamus was going to tag Show. So, anyways, after the match, Shield celebrates, gets the hell out of there, and then Show basically goes back to being a heel by KO punching both Sheamus and Randy. And to be honest, they shouldn't have trusted him anyway, so fuck him. So that was the first match, and then was the tag title match, and then was Fandango and Jericho. And after that, I think after that is when we were treated to the god-awful P. Diddy, I'm gonna rip off somebody else's song and talk over the real talent of the act, which was the chick who was singing the song, which was basically the theme song to WrestleMania. She's singing, and she's actually a good singer. I don't know who the hell she is, but he starts talking over her like an asshole because he's got to steal the spotlight because he's just an asshole like that. But anyways, I think that was what came next. After that, I believe, was the World Heavyweight title match. And the World Heavyweight title match was okay, I guess. Really lame finish. Del Rio, who was the champion, slaps his big arm bar, or the arm breaker, excuse me. He slaps on the cross arm breaker on Jack Swagger, who was the challenger, yeah. So he slaps the cross arm breaker on him, even though Swagger had gotten out of it 5-6 times in this match. This was really the battle of the submissions. Del Rio's got his cross arm breaker, and Swagger has his ankle lock that he calls the Patriot Lock. Anyways. But Del Rio wins, and instead of actually giving us what we've been wanting for frickin' ever, no Ziggler cash-in. Ziggler's been holding that Money in the Bank briefcase for months now, and he's, despite several times trying to cash the freaking thing in, he can't catch a break to save his life. So, no cash in. I guess he was still tired after the tag title loss. He did eat a choke slam and a giant headbutt from Bryan, so I guess, whatever. Trying to think what came after that. We had the world title match, we had the tag title match, Fandango and the Shield match. And then, I believe after that was CM Punk and The Undertaker. And this again was another match that I was actually kind of looking forward to, because I had been hearing that this was the match where Undertaker was finally going to lose and his undefeated WrestleMania streak was finally going to come to an end. That's what I kept hearing, but apparently, lol dirt sheets and all that bullshit. Nope, Undertaker wins. Again, the old man just won't fucking retire. And it's getting really bad at this point because he's so old and busted. He really can't go anymore. And it's like Punk is half his age, has double his speed and quickness. And at this point, all you'd have to do to beat The Undertaker is just kick the shit out of his legs because they're so busted up. And he's got a bad hip. But no, Punk can't win. Nope. Punk's been effectively buried in the WWE. This guy had over a year-long title reign as WWE champion, only to get stomped down by The Rock, who returns from frickin' retirement being Mr. Goddamn Hollywood off making all these shitty fucking movies. He comes back, beats Punk, ending his over a year-long title reign. Beats him twice, no less, because, of course, the champion has a rematch clause. And now at WrestleMania, Punk can't even beat a guy who's twice his age and half his speed. So, yeah, Punk's effectively buried. I don't know what the hell they're going to do with him now. Really just terrible. After that came Triple H and Brock Lesnar, the big grudge match, the no holds barred match. They have made Lesnar out to be this freaking unstoppable beast. He was a beast when he first came into the company years ago, and then he took his ball and ran away and decided to go to the UFC, where he apparently won the UFC heavyweight title twice. And after losing it the second time, he decided to come back to the WWE for a while. He just comes back, and Brock comes back from the UFC, gets his ass kicked by Cena, which that was a load of bullshit. Brock beat the holy hell out of Cena in that match. Cena was bleeding a lot by the end of that match. And it only seemed like Brock lost because of his own stupidity. He went for a frickin' dive out of the ring, which is not his style. And he ended up fucking his leg up in the process. But anyways, him and Triple H. Big grudge match. Triple H has been beat up. He's had his arm supposedly broken twice by Brock in this Kimura lock, which is something Brock learned while he was in the UFC. Breaks your arm, apparently, because, yeah, he broke Triple H's arm twice, which is horse shit. Broke Shawn Michaels' arm, which Shawn Michaels is Triple H's best friend. And he was also at ringside during this match. And got involved because it was a no-holds-barred match. And I'm still wondering, since when does no-holds-barred means no disqualification? Because it doesn't. No-holds-barred simply means any move that is banned is perfectly legal in this match. It doesn't mean you can, use weapons and shit. And of course, Triple H only wins after cracking Brock upside the head with his trusty sledgehammer. Triple H, his best friend, is a fucking sledgehammer. He has used this to knock the shit out of people so many times. And at this point, he should really stop using a sledgehammer and just start using a shovel, because the guy buries more people than The Undertaker. But anyways, so he has to hit Lesnar over the head with the sledgehammer and then pedigree him on part of the frickin' ring steps. So yeah, there goes Brock. He's probably gone. And after that, we finally get The Rock and John Cena Take 2, the match that was supposed to be once in a lifetime, and that was last year's WrestleMania when the first time it happened. Oh, it's once in a lifetime, but we're going to do it again next year. We're probably going to get it again next year, too. We're going to get a rematch, because, you know, it's 1-1 each now. Yeah, spoiler alert, John Cena wins and is your new WWE champion. After multiple false finishes, countering out of each other's moves back to back to back, going in a circle. One guy goes for his move, the other guy gets out of it, goes for his move, gets out of it, round and around and around, until Cena finally gets the damn FU again, and finally gets the damn win. And then he gets the hell out of the ring because he wants to show respect to The Rock. They hug and all this bullshit. They go up onto the stage and they hug, they shake hands. Cena holds Rock's hand up. All this show of respect bullshit. This whole pay-per-view was frickin' almost awful from top to bottom. The only two matches that were any good was the Shield match and Fandango's debut beating Jericho. Those were like the only two saving graces of this pay-per-view. Everything else, well, I suppose the tag title match with Ziggler was okay. But it would have been a hell of a lot better if he had won. It would have been a lot nicer if he would have been able to cash in his damn Money in the Bank and become world champion. That would have been nice too. But no, even though he promised he was going to cash in the fucking thing, we still don't get a cash in. Nope. Because we can't have nice things watching the WWE. It's the John Cena show. He's going to be the WWE champion for fucking ever. And all we're going to get is him and nothing but him. And that's all you get because fuck you, that's why. The WWE is getting really annoying. And I'm really tired of it. They've been so boring now for so long. 3 years in a row now, WrestleMania has sucked. It sucked last year, it sucked the year before that, and it sucked this year. And I'm tired of putting up with it. I don't want to keep giving these motherfuckers money. I don't want to keep watching their damn shows. But the problem is, there's no other good wrestling on. TNA is garbage, and for you, those of you who don't know, TNA is this crap hole from down in Florida with Hulk fucking Hogan and Eric Bischoff. And even though you don't get to see Bischoff these days because his character was written out, because he finally took the hint that nobody wanted to see his dumbass. Well, a hint that I wish Hogan would take too, because he needs to get that hint too. We've got idiots writing the thing. We've got idiots booking the thing. The company is owned and ran by a woman who knows nothing about pro wrestling. She comes from an oil family, and their family owns the damn the company. They bought it from Jeff Jarrett, who was the guy who created the fucking place. And honestly, I wish Jarrett still ran the place, because even though he was never all that good himself, at least he knew how to run the place somewhat. Ran it a lot better than this, because Dixie don't know shit. Dixie's the girl who owns it, by the way. She don't know shit. All she knows is, I'm going to put Hogan and Bischoff in charge and just let them run amok and bury everybody. And we're going to throw our world title on a drugged up junkie named Jeff Hardy, who's a piece of shit that shouldn't be allowed to wrestle anymore. And then he drops the title to a worthless, out of shape, fat, 10 years past his prime Bubba Ray Dudley, who is now named Bully Ray, by the way, and he had turned face somehow despite being a bully, and despite that title being part of his fucking name, he was able to turn face, only to turn back into a heel after winning the damn title because he sides with the new NWO, which is now known as the Aces and Eights, which is this biker gang. The biker gang that don't even ride motorcycles. It's hilarious. There's shitty booking, there's shitty writing out the ass in TNA, and despite them having a roster full of good talent, they don't use them properly, they book them in horrible, crappy storylines, and they waste people, and they give the wrong people the damn titles. People who are 10 years past their prime or drugged up junkies. That's your only other major promotion in the WWE, or in the USA. That's your only other pro wrestling promotion. The third biggest is Ring of Honor, and they just fucked themselves over too by having the best world champion they have, frickin' Kevin Steen, drop the title to a dumbass hillbilly who's not even that good of a wrestler. I don't understand why they thought they could get away with this. Kevin Steen was killing everyone in the company, even his old rival El Generico, who is now under contract to the WWE, by the way, because Steen pretty much ran his ass out of Ring of Honor. But no, he drops the title to a fucking hillbilly with a crappy gimmick, who's not even all that good of a wrestler and can't talk for shit. Yeah. And he's half of a brother tag team, and the other guy can't wrestle or talk for shit either. So, royally fucked. You ruin Kevin Steen. The only explanation I can think of is that maybe Steen was sick of being in the company and felt like he'd go sign with the WWE too, so he just needed to drop the title so he could be released and go up north. I don't know. Doesn't really matter to me. WrestleMania sucked. End of story. I really hate being a pro wrestling fan right now. I can't even watch TNA, it's so bad. I haven't watched it in months. Everything I know I've read from... there's a site that I go to where they report on everything. They give results from all the shows, the pay-per-views. I've read all of that stuff, and I've seen a couple of videos on YouTube, because I actually follow the TNA page on YouTube and actually get to see some of this crap. Good God. But watching Monday Night Raw every Monday, and sometimes being able to watch SmackDown on Fridays, because I have to work Fridays and I'm not always home. So... that's about all the good wrestling I get, or it's not even all that great most of the time. More bad writing and booking. Cena running amok with his dumb bullshit. I really hate being a pro wrestling fan right now. There's another promotion in the United States that I really wish could get signed to a TV deal. And that's Dragon Gate USA. Those guys have some incredible talent. And it's really unfair that they don't have a TV deal, because I think they could crush every other company. They may not have the production values of the WWE. They may not have the old has-been stars of the past that TNA has, but that's not necessarily a good thing anyways. And they may not have this focus on honor and good old-school wrestling that Ring of Honor has. But they have some damn good talent, and I don't think they're being run by a bunch of morons who don't know what the hell they're doing. I'd really like to see Dragon Gate USA get a TV deal. That would be great. But, I think that's going to be all for this episode of the show. I'm not even going to bother posting this under the EarthBound channel, since it's not really about EarthBound. This is about me taking the piss out of the WWE right now. WrestleMania sucked. For the third straight year in a row. It's atrocious. McMahon, you don't have a fucking clue what you're doing anymore. You need to hang it up. And your idiot son-in-law Triple H doesn't know shit either. And don't even bother giving the company to your daughter, because she's just as clueless as you are. She's never had a fucking clue. And by the way, Stephanie is the head of the creative department in the WWE. She writes some of the worst fucking storylines. She has no goddamn clue what she's doing. The best possible scenario for the WWE is if Vince and Stephanie both freaking died and somebody outside the McMahon family could actually take over, other than Triple H. That's the best possible scenario for this company. Because those guys don't know what the hell they're doing anymore. They got a writing department and a booking department full of freaking ass clowns. I could come up with better storylines. I could book better matches. And I won't book the same damn match 20 damn weeks in a row like they do. This is the reason why games like TEW are so popular. For those of you who don't know, TEW is a booking simulator where you can book a pro wrestling company. You're basically the owner. You make all the decisions. You're in charge of hiring and firing people. You book the matches. You write the storylines. You choose who wins and who loses. And that's why it's so popular, is because people know they can do this shit better than the McMahon family, better than the idiots that run TNA. It's pathetic at this point. I really hate being a pro wrestling fan right now. There's no good wrestling. The matches are way too short, on TV at least. Pay-per-view is when is the only time they get any good time. And most of the time the matches on pay-per-view suck because they're a bunch of guys who suck. We've got a bunch of old has-beens. You've got Undertaker, Triple H, Lesnar, Rock, Cena. Cena's not even a has-been, he's a never was. Cena is a piece of shit all around. Crappy wrestler. He's got no charisma, no talent. He doesn't sell anything. And this piece of garbage is our WWE champion. Again, for the 11th goddamn time. This guy is now an 11-time WWE champion. At this rate, he's going to surpass Ric Flair's record of 16 times. This is ridiculous. John Cena doesn't even qualify as a pro wrestler. He doesn't have the charisma, he doesn't have the talent, he doesn't cut promos very well, and he can't act. He can't sell. He gets hurt, he just lays there. He doesn't sell it. He gets up 5 seconds later and he's fine. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap this up now because even I'm getting bored of doing this. Yeah, that's bad. The damn shit is so boring, I'm getting tired of ranting about it. Anyways, that's the end of the show. I do want to maybe make this part of my channel a wrestling series where I talk about, you know, the goings-on, the current happenings. I want to go over Raw and maybe SmackDown and some of the other shows and maybe even talk about TNA, but then again, I don't want to talk about TNA because TNA is horse shit. I haven't watched TNA in months. I haven't watched since Jeff Hardy won the fucking world title in the first place. He won it at Bound for Glory after beating Austin Aries, who was a far superior wrestler and a far superior champion. And they ruin his storyline by having drugged up Junkie Hardy beat him in a match in an arena where half the crowd hated his guts anyways. And Aries was supposed to be the heel. Anyways, again, I'm going to wrap this up. Sorry to talk your ear off, but I really wanted to rant and get this off my chest. WrestleMania sucked, bottom line. Good night.